royalty structures in the publishing industry. And as always, you will retain 100% of the rights to your book.
I was looking to find a company that I could trust, one that assisted in the editing process completely.
The most important qualities that I was looking for was a publisher who was honest and upfront, no hidden costs or fees, and owning the rights to my own work.
Christian Faith Publishing will publish, market, and sell your books in all major bookstores, online booksellers, as well as specialty Christian bookstores. Call for your free author submission kit.
800-978-4812. 800-978-4812. 800-978-4812. That's 800-978-4812.
Fast Track Student Loans can get your student loans out of default, stop any wage garnishments, stop collection calls, and stop seizure of your tax refund. Give yourself a break. Stop the stress and get your student loan payments down to as little as $25 a month based on what you can afford to pay. 800-709-4395. 800-709-4395. 800-709-4395. 800-709-4395.
Here's important new information from the Diabetes Solution Center for you, a family member, or a loved one suffering with diabetes. If you have lost your provider, or if you need a provider for diabetic supplies, you may qualify to receive your diabetic testing supplies now with little or no out-of-pocket cost, regardless of your age. All you need is Medicare or private insurance to be potentially eligible. Call the Diabetes Solution Center right now for details. Just takes a couple of minutes. Our friendly, knowledgeable agents will give you free, no-obligation information, handle all the insurance paperwork, and make sure your supplies are delivered directly to your door for free.
Call U.S. Medical Supply 24 hours a day. 800-597-9323. 800-597-9323. 800-597-9323. Call right now. 800-597-9323.
Fast Track Student Loans can get your student loans out of default, stop any wage garnishments, stop collection calls, and stop seizure of your tax refund. Give yourself a break. Stop the stress and get your student loan payments down to as little as $25 a month based on what you can afford to pay. 800-709-4395. 800-709-4395. 800-709-4395. 800-709-4395.
You're listening to Joco Community Radio.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning. Can Dana hear us? Dana got a new hair, it looks like.
I love it.
Good morning, everybody.
Rock star.
Welcome to the Jobfather. Guess who the Jobfather is? And Dana, can you hear us yet? We're having technical issues. Oh, man, we're being switched around. Oh, my goodness. So welcome to the Jobfather, you guys. We are here every Friday at 11 o'clock Central Standard Time to give out good information for job seekers here. As we are in this job transition, there's a lot of things that we should hear, but our job is to let you guys know the things that you should be hearing and that you should heed. But your job search belongs to you guys. So we just want to do our part to help you guys find it. Dana, can you hear us? Not yet? Okay. Well, we always start the prayer off with a show. We always start the show off with a prayer.
Hey, I think, can y'all hear me?
Hey,
we got you, Dana.
Yay, everybody.
Yay.
Awesome. Foster, did you already do the intro for Tiff?
All I did was, no, I did not. All I did was introduce our show and say, I was about to say that we're going to go into a prayer before we do, but we got you to do that.
Awesome. Well, just a quick reminder, Joco Community Radio is brought to you we brought to you obviously by Joco Community Radio, but we are a proud part of Johnson County, Texas.
Yes.
We are
Mhm.
excited to be here today. And if you would like to listen in the future, you can listen live 24/7 on the TuneIn Radio Network.
Man, there's some
All
good
you
shows there.
It
Yeah.
is a great lineup of shows. And you can go into both your iPhone and Android, go into the App Store, download the Joco Community Radio app. Proud to be the voice of Johnson County, Texas. And you can listen to the whole lineup, but especially yours truly, the Jobfather show. So we're excited, Jobfather Nation, to be here today. And as Foster said, let's start with a quick word of prayer, shall we? Awesome. Father God, we are just so honored and privileged to be here this Friday. We thank you, Lord God, that Nigel is here. We thank you, Lord, that we have an opportunity to serve the job seeker community. And I just pray that you would open up amazing doors for each and every job seeker out there. We just thank you for your faithfulness. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
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 That's it. Yeah.
Wonderful. Well, I am assuming we will probably jump to our announcements, landings.
Yeah. 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 Absolutely. Dana, did you get a new hair?
I kind of got a new hair. I
We
got a
like it.
trim and then I
I
trimmed
know.
it and then
Yeah.
curled it.
Jazzy looking, jazzy Dana.
Trying.
All
Just trying to
right.
stay warm. It's so
I know
cold.
that, and I
Yes,
like that sweater she got on too, Nigel.
I
Look.
do too. And
You got
Dana
something warm in
came
that
for
cup?
it today. She didn't tell me we were dressing up.
Oh no, you look way
Oh.
better than I do, Nigel. I'm just over here trying to keep up with you.
So we got some folks that are checking in with us. Derek Galindo, good to see you, bro.
Ah,
Derek's my main man, 50 grand. And
Yeah,
he
yeah.
supports Mez. So hey, Debbie's with us. There's Derek. There he is right there. And we will continue to go, but I want you guys to know, and Dana usually has a couple of things that she wants to bring to our attention. Jason Hopper, good morning from Plano, Texas. Brother, you in Plano this morning? Okay.
Day hop.
J Hop. So guys, listen, we want to Monday, our favorite Devin Green just landed a position at Lockheed. So we're excited.
indeed.
We had a big old lunch celebrating Devin's landing yesterday. She announced yesterday at South Lake Focus Group. Guys, don't forget to go check out southlakefocusgroup.com. It is a premier group. Nige and I were there yesterday, and we were just having a good time with all the job seekers. My God, there's probably 100 job seekers there. We're growing again, y'all. And
We had a
then
good turnout.
we had a good turnout, 25, 30 people on Zoom. It is a hybrid group. Go
Love
check it
it.
out, guys. Go to South Lake. Thanks, Maz. Go to southlakefocusgroup.com. Debbie, I know you're with us, Deb. So I just wanted to say good morning, Deb.
Hey
And
Deb.
that's about all the singing y'all can get out of me. But guys, if you are a agile coach, I
Mhm.
am recruiting for an agile coach for a really, really good friend of mine for a company over in Alliance. I'm looking skinny. Okay, somebody told me I was looking skinny. Hey, go me. I lost a little bit of weight. Okay, we can, ladies, ladies, I lost weight. No, I'm kidding. But if you're an agile coach, uh, uh, if you know an agile coach, guys, it's this agile methodology of project management. Please contact me. Here's how you do it: Foster.Williams at sbcglobal.net. And my number is 214-728-6930. I'll be glad to tell you all about this. This position is a long-term contract, but they're looking to hire someone. It's for Westco Communications out in Alliance. Really, really good company. One of my best friends and longest friends, actually, the lady used to run one of our groups, Nigel,
Oh,
is out there at Westco as a project manager. She is like head of all project management stuff out there.
okay.
So she needs an agile coach, and I told her I'd help her if I could.
Oh, nice.
Uh-huh.
That's
Uh-huh.
great.
And our HR general's position, guys, that we were looking for closed. They did hire somebody. Hey, Christy. I got Jill. Are you so with us this morning? What is going on, Jill? I have got to come over to your house. We got to barbecue up some stuff and hang out in your backyard while while the weather still permits. We've been getting, I think we're getting some more rain, but yeah, Maz, I'm squirreling again, but y'all are used to that. Okay, guys, thanks, Maz, for putting my number up there. Again, if you are an agile coach, guys, Christine Mawaze, I know you and I have already talked about this. So if you're an agile coach, call me, email me, call me, y'all call me.
Yeah, the
So
number's
Dana,
up there for all you ladies looking at that skinny Foster.
hey, I'm skinned. I'm skinned out. That's because I got a haircut. What it is.
That's it.
So, hey, Dana, do you
Yes.
have any positions that you would like to showcase? Or I know that, our one of our favorite companies, guys, over there is Caris Life Sciences, where Dana used to work. Now, we, me, Nigel, and Dana, we love helping you guys get jobs. But you know what? We don't endorse every company out there. There's some crazy things going on. We want to drive you guys toward the right places to go. And you know what? We will introduce you to people inside of those companies that will prove to you why we endorse those companies.
That's right.
So, hey, Rosita Lagan.
Hey,
Well,
Rosita.
for those of you that are here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area,
Mhm.
Beacon Oral Specialists, my home where I work, and
That's
it
right.
is a phenomenal company. As Foster said, we don't endorse every company, but I highly endorse. I'm there
Mhm.
personally and can give that endorsement. Beacon Oral Specialists. We are hiring for a director of tax, a director of compliance. We just filled our HR business partner role in California. We
Oh,
still have a contract to hire, IT project coordinator role, and a
okay.
senior financial analyst role with heavy background in financial modeling. We are growing as an organization, and Beacon Oral Specialists acquires oral surgery practices throughout the United States, and we are growing over 800% year to year. So we're doing very well as an
Oh, over
organization.
800%. My God.
Yeah. So in the last year and a half, we've grown over 800%. Now, as far as Caris Life Sciences, I worked for that company for 10 years. We have a
Yes.
lab in Phoenix, Arizona, where we hire most of our scientific operations, lab operations. We always are growing and have positions there if you're based in Phoenix. And then as far as corporate roles, go to carislifesciences.com, check out their website. There is usually a mix as we grow of billing specialist opportunities, as well as various roles between accounting, finance, and data analytics. So take a look. Great organization. And if you would like to have your company's positions announced on the show, please contact Skinny Foster Williams at the phone number that was already up there, or you can email Foster at his email address. We all put that up there as well. I think Mez, she rocks. She put it up there, foster.williams at
SBC. That's
sbcglobal.net.
right.
There is a wonderful opportunity to not only reach people here throughout the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex, but our audience is located literally throughout the United States, and we even have some international pockets. So if
Yes,
you
we
would
do.
like
Yeah.
to have a couple of your very important roles announced, please reach out to Foster Williams. You can reach him at 214-728-6930 or foster.williams at sbcglobal.net.
That's right. You foreign companies, you guys call me because I know that you have positions in the United States
Yeah.
sometimes, but
Yeah.
let me trip you out. We have
Trippy, trippy.
trippy. We have networks overseas, and namely in Germany, Belgium, different
Nice.
companies in the Pacific Northwest. Oh my goodness, the Asia Pac. You guys, when you are online, and this is something to think about, as we're going to be talking about some of this social media stuff. We're going to be there's my main man Eugene Clay from Mississippi. Hey, Nigel, I got to introduce you to Gene. Gene be with us
Me too.
every Saturday. Yeah. We got to make that. I got to be the job father. I got to introduce good people. So anyway, hey, Gene. But guys, all over the planet, we're on Spreaker. We're on iHeartRadio. We are on Periscope. There are a lot of, other than the bigs. Now, when I say the big social media networks, Of course, we're talking about LinkedIn. Of course, we're talking about YouTube,
Mhm.
Twitter, and Facebook. We're live on all of those big platforms. They're all over the world, guys. My network personally is all over the world, and I like to get you guys tuned in. There are people that are listening from some of those very countries that I just mentioned, and you guys chime in if you have any questions. We do not have a job seeker today because we got a big thing that we want to talk about. Dana and I are recruiters, and we would normally work for Nigel because she is one of the HR executive leaders, and me and Dana and I don't want to say little because it's big, but our talent
Mhm.
acquisition world usually falls under HR. So right
It
now
does.
on my
Yep.
screen, me and Dana are below Nigel, and I like that. Nigel don't think like that, y'all. Let's just be having fun. But let's talk about Nigel.
Mhm.
You and I have been having some good conversation. What's going on, Charles Mitchell? There, man. See how I get distracted. But Nigel, you and I have been talking
Mhm.
about social media now. What's the real on social media in job search? Yeah, we should clean up our profiles. We should have things what's the word I'm looking for?
Buttoned
Uh,
up.
but that definitely, but consistent. That's the word I
Yeah.
Yes,
like,
buttoned
guys.
up and consistent.
Consistent.
Mhm.
Uh-huh. On different social media platforms, because when you're looking for a job, you want to put your best foot forward. We might
For
Mhm.
not.
sure.
It may not be interested in Foster in that toga at the toga party. Oh
Not at
Lord,
all.
I shouldn't have told y'all that, shouldn't I?
Nope.
What's up, Nigel? Tell us something.
You know what? I think the most important thing is what Dana just said. You need to be consistent. All people, all of
Hmm.
your social media profiles need to be consistent with the professional image that you are portraying. Yes, that includes your personal Facebook, your personal Instagram, your personal Twitter. Because if you apply for a job and I'm interested in you, I'm probably going to look, right? So
Yeah.
just making sure that that's professional is super important because people will see something that turns them off. A hiring manager could see something that turns them off, whether it's comments. And we know there's a ton of stuff to talk about. There's politics, there's relationship stuff, there's
Uh,
stuff, there's Hollywood stuff and gossip. But I believe that you should clean up. It's my recommendation to you, right? It's not that I believe it. I know people are going to look. I know people are easily turned off because there's so many opinions, and although it has nothing to do with your talent or your skills, they don't know you. So you don't want people give people any reason to formulate a negative opinion of you in your job search because of something you posted or did 5 years ago when you were out on college night with your friends, right? Girls, boys, whoever. So just
uh-huh.
clean it up, right?
Hmm. Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So
Right.
this morning we had a kind of a little bit of talk. Catherine McCord and I were on the Career Launch Live this morning.
Mm-hmm.
Many of you guys that are listening to us probably may have seen that podcast. It's a big connect y'all with Catherine with a K McCord,
Mm-hmm.
McCord. She
Mm-hmm.
is the founder of Career Launch Live, and it is a national podcast, and it is powerful. We have a good time. So I was the guest on there this morning.
Wow.
And we talked a little bit about, okay, what do we need to do to get in there? And once we get
Mm-hmm.
in there, how do we know if it's not working out? What do we do? Kind of thing. So thanks, Mez, for putting Career Launch Live there. And guys, uh, not everybody. I'm just being honest. I'm just being
Mm-hmm.
honest. We're all pressed for time. We
Right.
recruiters don't have a lot of time.
No.
Sometimes when Dana and I get to work in the morning, uh, we got 20 resumes to immediately go through
Mm-hmm.
before the hiring manager is calling Dana and going, Dana, where are my people? Okay, I told you yesterday that we need to hire somebody. We need to hire somebody expeditiously. There's my big word I used from yesterday, Nigel.
Yep, you
Um,
got it.
we need to hire somebody expeditiously because we've got a client on the line. We've got a client that
Mm-hmm.
we're about to, in aerospace, a lot of times, Devin, if you're listening, you'll run into this. We need to hire somebody right away because we stand a chance of getting this contract with this
Right.
company. And we've got to be able to, if they sign that paper, we've got to be ready to produce immediately.
Right.
And In aerospace, guys, a lot of you guys are used to these kind of hires being made. Now, uh, we want you, especially if you are an executive, you need to have a good social media presence. Uh, we get a little bit more. I'm not gonna put this on Nigel and Dana, but
Mhm.
I get a little bit more concerned about the intangibles of what I'm hiring when I'm hiring a $400,000 or $500,000 a year employee.
Mhm.
And being one of those people in the past myself, I wanted to have people, when they found me, I wanted them to see consistency.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to say this. J Hop posted said minimum recruiters will look at your LinkedIn profile. Guys, do not underestimate recruiters. We all have different ways that we search people. Some people will just put your name in Google. They might
Oh,
not go to your
well,
LinkedIn profile. Let me tell you, it happened to me. And somebody came to me and said, Nigel, do you work for this company in Europe and blah, 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 blah. And I didn't work for that company, but they had
Weird.
listed me as an executive at their company. And it was a company that was a farce, right? But they had put me and put my LinkedIn profile. And I'm like, I don't work there. Right. And
wow.
I'm going through the
Wow.
interview process for an executive role. And I'm like, I really don't work there, and they had stolen my picture and my image. So I'm going to say this. Google yourself.
Google, yes.
Everybody go out, Google yourself. If you see something that gives you pause, whether it's true or not, make sure that you go through the proper protocols to delete it, to have it removed, because if you can see it, other people can search it and see it. And it took me about 6 weeks, guys. And this was right after I found myself back in transition earlier this year. It took about 6 to 8 weeks to get it down. Like, that is not me. I do not work there. I do not know these people. I live in the US. I don't live in London. I visited several times, but
Wow.
I do not live there. Right. And they had
So
just stolen
LinkedIn
images.
had to take it down? You couldn't do it?
No, Google had to take it down.
Oh,
But
wow.
it was in Google under my name, and they stole my pictures on LinkedIn. Right? They stole my post and my work on LinkedIn and put it on their site. So when I
Wow.
say Google yourself, start with Googling yourself, right? Don't underestimate things that people will use or post about you, and they don't even have to be true. But people will call them into, question when you're on your search for your next opportunity. So just make sure there's continuity. Twitter, link or Twitter or X or whoever they are now, Facebook, Instagram,
Yeah.
and things like, if you say, I don't want to have to explain this, right? Hide it until you get through your process. And then if you feel like you want to relist it on your profile, certainly
Yeah.
do that. But just make sure, one, you're not listed somewhere where you really don't work. That's number one. And
Yeah.
number two, make sure there's nothing that's questionable that's posted, right? If you feel like it would be hard to explain, or, oh, you've got to be there to know what happened, probably take it down is the best advice.
Man,
I'd
that's
like to jump
crazy.
in on what you just said.
Yeah.
This has been my experience. I am a global person. Yeah, oh, Foster's global, but I am global because I'm nosy. I want to know what's going on. My
We all know you're nosy.
my nosy. In a lot of these positions, we don't think about this. Job seekers, we normally think about the United States. There's Bubba. My Jeff Little's my best friend in this whole wide world. He's my big brother. He's older than me, so I got to make sure that everybody knows that. Anyway, getting back to what I'm talking about, guys. I purposely have friends and I contact and stay in contact with companies overseas. Foster,
Mhm.
why? We're here in the United States. What's up with that? So, you know what? Many, did you get that many word, guys?
Mhm.
Many foreign companies like SAP, like Hearst, a lot of companies
Mhm.
have business here in the United States. Some of them do not. Some of them want to set up business here in the United States for obvious
Mhm.
reasons, guys. And so, you know who they call sometimes?
Who?
Foster, what's going
Foster.
on in the United States? Where can I find this pocket of talent? We're
Yeah.
looking to do this here. We're looking to do this there. And when we guys are on, especially when we're on LinkedIn, uh, we are global, guys. We have global companies looking at us. So, job seekers, if you get a call from someone overseas, Don't think it's scam almost automatically. Oh, somebody from overseas called me. You know
Mm-hmm.
what? Hey, they are legitimate as we are. And companies, another thing that I want to say, and this is a little bit off the topic of what we're talking about today, but y'all know how I am. Guys, when people overseas get degrees from overseas universities, many times they exceed the knowledge of what we have here in the United States. I'm sorry, but there are some universities overseas that are better than some of the universities we got here.
Like
And
Oxford.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
see there.
Uh-huh.
I didn't Cambridge, Oxford. I mean, it goes on and
Yep.
on. But I'm going to tell you guys another one that you never hardly think about. You never hear about. The University of Kenya is tremendous. And
Hmm.
anybody who's got a degree from University of Kenya is probably going to outmatch anybody that you run into. Cote d'Ivoire,
Wow.
those type of universities, guys, all over the planet. Um, we do not generally give those people a fair chance when they have a foreign degree. You know, I'm not going to be the first one to say it, but we need to. We are in, we're what you ever heard somebody say, we're our own problem? Guess what we are in the United States? We're our own problem. We
We are
create
no
our own
problem.
we create our own problem. So guys, have that presence because that presence will distribute you globally. But do not be surprised when you get a call from someone in the UK. Somebody, hey, Naja used to work in the UK. You know,
Did.
in fact, she just got back not too long ago. And there are tremendous amount of people that might look at your profile because Nigel or Dana or Foster might have said, "Hey, you know what? I know you're looking for this. I've got a friend I think you need to talk to," and
Absolutely.
it doesn't mean that you're going to have to work overseas, guys. It doesn't mean you're going to have to relocate just because somebody from Asia Pacific calls you. They might
Mm-hmm.
be trying to do business in the United States. And you being in Dallas Fort Worth, big metroplex, and we're projected, I think we're projected to be the biggest metroplex in a few years. I think, Nigel, that's
I
what you
think
and
we are. I think we're well on our way.
hmm Guys, we got a lot of stuff going on right here, and a lot of companies want to get established here in Dallas Fort Worth. And you know what? Dana and Nige and Foster are
Mm-hmm.
right here, and we have big networks. And Nigel and I are doing many, many things to try to get out what we're talking about right now
Yep.
into a place where you guys can grab, connect, do all that sort of thing. So I just wanted to take this opportunity to give a thumbs up for the overseas activity.
Yes,
All right.
yes.
Well, I noticed, I see J Hop saying he would move overseas. I think we can share it. Foster, maybe when this is done, you can share with the network a couple of places. I'll send you some folks who actually recruit for positions overseas and give them some ideas about where to look
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
for that information. And J Hop, you can set up a profile. Chapman CGT, I think, is something like that. I'm gonna look it up and I'll send it to you on LinkedIn. But you can actually post a profile there, and companies can actually look through your profile and see if they'd be interested in hiring you. So,
hmm I have a
mhm,
friend named Linda Ains, Aines.
mhm.
She is a I call her the White House recruiter. She really is. Well, she is and she isn't. But she owns International Link. You guys hear that name? International Link.
Mhm.
She
Okay.
works with there are a lot of uh White House, I don't know, it's not always the White House, but a lot of foreign programs are generated there on the East Coast. And Linda is probably their top recruiter that recruits for, you'll see chief of party, different types of titles of positions that they hire for that's posted on, well, I'm going to get close when I say this one, Dana. Search the number four, the letter UINC.com. That is a website for years and years that I have been responsible for putting out there because some of this connecting that I do, if there are job opportunities, I'm going to post them out there so you guys can see them. We have had a number of people, quite a number of people that have taken positions, contracts overseas, and that sort of thing. And oh, I'm hearing money, money.
Yep.
I'm
Yep.
hearing music. We will
Hearing music.
continue this when we get back from commercial, guys.
All righty.
Be right back.
Let's be honest. Wheelchairs are heavy, bulky, and ugly. If you carry a wheelchair in your car to take care of a loved one, you know how hard it is getting that clunky, old-style wheelchair in and out of your car. Introducing the Feather Chair Wheelchair. At 13 pounds, it's the world's lightest wheelchair. It folds in seconds and fits neatly in your trunk, backseat, or closet, so you can take it everywhere. And it's only available right here. Order yours today and get a free wheelchair case, a $50 value, yours free. The Feather Chair, the world's lightest wheelchair, is just $4.99 with easy payments as low as $16 a month. Sorry, no Medicare or insurance accepted. So call right now to order yours.
800-823-5826. 800-823-5826. 800-823-5826. That's 800-823-5826.
Fast Track Student Loans can get your student loans out of default, stop any wage garnishments, stop collection calls, and stop seizure of your tax refund. Give yourself a break. Stop the stress and get your student loan payments down to as little as $25 a month based on what you can afford to pay. 800-709-4395. 800-709-4395. 800-709-4395. 800-709-4395. Fast Track Student Loans can get your student loans out of default, stop any wage garnishments, stop collection calls, and stop seizure of your tax refund. Give yourself a break. Stop the stress and get your student loan payments down to as little as $25 a month based on what you can afford to pay. 800-709-4395. 800-709-4395. 800-709-4395. 800-709-4395.
Joco Community Radio. Listen live at tunein.com.
Good morning, Jobfather Nation. We are back for the second half of our show. As you know, we have had a wonderful conversation around social media, how that impacts your networking and your perception with employers as you are looking for work.
Mm-hmm.
First and foremost, we are proud to be a part of Joco Community Radio. And Joco Community Radio is the proud voice of Johnson County, Texas. And you can listen to Joco Community Radio and their lineup of shows live on the 365 TuneIn Radio Network, or you can go to your Apple or iPhone device, go to the App Store, Apple or Android device, go to the App Store, download the app, and listen to the full lineup and more, especially yours truly, the Jobfather. We are excited to be back, and Foster, as far as the second half of the show, I know we have Nigel, and we've got some great conversation going around networking, work, applying for jobs, and kind of how social media impacts and plays into the job search. What do we have planned for the second half of the show?
Second half of the show, we want to continue talking about our global nature and what social media opens us up to, and why, like you both said earlier in the show, why we should pay attention. We should Google ourselves. We should see what's going on, because there is not a lot in the future. We hope to see a lot more, but right now there's not a lot of control of what's going on out there. Everybody's excited because I can get on LinkedIn and I can tell everybody about this, and I can go here and I can go there. But we want to make sure that our names are not being, I guess, what would you say that? Misappropriated?
Yeah, misappropriated. I think there are other parts of social media that people don't think about, right? And Dana's gonna hear me when I say this, like she's gonna know. MySpace existed a long time ago.
Oh my God.
Right? You just need to make sure that your social presence is as you think it is. Like when I tell people I don't have TikTok, I don't have Facebook, right? I literally just have LinkedIn and a business Instagram. And that's all I have. I don't have other social media. But then when you Google yourself, you might see, oh, I started a Pinterest account.
Yeah.
Oh, I had a MySpace from, I don't know, eons ago. Oh, I had this commentary and blog that I thought I was going to do. Right. If you have any of those things and they show up, make sure they're good to go. And like we say, the professional image is consistent. I'm not saying don't have them. This is not what I'm saying. I'm saying that make sure they all elude the professionalism that your LinkedIn does. So people get a consistent read on who you are, right? I'm all for you having a blog. I'm all for you having a Pinterest. If you need a TikTok or a Instagram, certainly have them. But again, be mindful that they're visible to people. And if you're going through a tough, like I say, 6 interview, Lockheed Martin, Harris, L3, some of the tougher interview processes where people are going to definitely look and they're going to do extensive background on you. There are some things that you just may want to hide, right?
Yes,
And
exactly.
just be mindful.
You know, there is a in the chat. I want you guys to look at D Johnson. Focus on sharing value, y'all. And y'all's a Texas word. You might want to say you guys if you're at East. But guys, focus on sharing value. Care about people through that. And you know, you're gonna hear us here all the time, especially me, Nigel, and Dana, talk about the human side of job search. Guys, here's what I'm thinking. As long as a person determines whether we go to work for that company or not, then we have our tangible side of things. We can talk to people and we can talk to Dana. She helps with resumes, all that sort of thing. You can
Right.
get that tangible side together. Okay, you guys are looking for experience as a project manager in this field, and I did it here, I did it there for that, all that. That is what Foster calls tangibles. But then
Right.
there are intangibles. There are those personal things that if you're going to work for Nigel, and Nigel hires numbers of people when she's working, she is the leader that does that. But you know what? You're going to display certain intangible things about yourself when you work for Nigel. Are you going to be considered? Are you going to be interviewing with Nigel? There's certain things that she's looking for. Now, because I have a Dana,
Relationship.
see, I didn't even have to say it.
See?
Because I have a relationship with Nigel, I know some of those things. But you know what? Even with a relationship, I don't know all of those things.
Yeah.
If Nigel is hiring for a specific thing, there's other people that are part of her uh, team that she has to take into consideration.
Yeah.
Uh,
Can I just say with social
jump in
media,
there.
did I interrupt you, Foster?
No, go,
No.
go.
Okay.
Please interrupt me. You know,
Can I just say with social media, for our job seekers, whether you choose to participate in social media or not, that's fine. It is always good to be smart and savvy, just like Nigel and Foster talked a lot about on the first half, that you are aware, you Google yourself and just make sure there's no fraudulent things going on that could
right.
confuse job seekers. And the odds of it can be pretty limited, but as we saw with Nigel, it can happen. So it's good to stay on top of that. But the big thing I think I would like to point out for job seekers in general is that companies do look at your profiles. Companies do look to see, to find out more about you. So it is very important, if you are wanting to maintain a professional image, all of your social media everything outside of LinkedIn. LinkedIn's a different type of platform. You don't post a bunch of pictures and things like that on LinkedIn. It's typically professional only. But any other site that you have a social media presence, it doesn't matter if it's Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat, whatever it is, it needs to be locked down. You should have it set up so that only friends can view. And that way you can monitor who's actually looking at your LinkedIn. So your social media. So if anybody comes to my social media profiles, like for example, in Instagram or Facebook, they can only see my cover picture and they have a choice. They can either friend request me or not, but they can't see anything outside of that. And then I also have something set up so that I have to approve any posts that I'm in on
Oh,
Facebook.
absolutely.
Yeah,
The
that way
Facebook
people
photo.
can't, say you're at a family event and everybody's having a good
Mhm,
time and someone takes a picture where everyone's been drinking for a while. That
mhm.
won't go up on your feed until you approve it. So you have to be very
Okay.
careful of those things and be very
Mhm.
discerning on the type of picture that you are choosing to use for your main picture, especially when you're in the job search.
Right.
And the other thing that I'd like to point up really quick, if we can shift over to LinkedIn, because LinkedIn
Mhm.
is one of the number one sources and platforms that
It
employers
is.
use
It is.
globally, not just here in the US, globally,
Really.
I like
to
that.
recruit you. If you do not have your LinkedIn up to date, you are preventing yourself from your next great job. Over the
Opportunity.
last over the last, I'd say 20 years, almost everything I have done is through LinkedIn.
Mhm,
No, I'm sorry, I take that back. 15 years. Over the last 15 years, all of my opportunities have come through people I know or people I don't know reaching out
mhm.
to me via LinkedIn. So I do over almost all of them. So I do want to say this. Your LinkedIn needs to match your resume. You need to make
Absolutely.
sure from a position standpoint, you need to make
Mhm.
sure that whatever resume you're sending to your company, you aren't leaving out jobs or adding in jobs that aren't reflected on your LinkedIn. I have seen
Absolutely.
candidates get dismissed from the mix that were very
Right.
qualified because of the inconsistency, and it looks what I would say is shady or a
Mhm,
little suspicious, as the younger generations would say, sus. And it
mhm.
does look a little sus if you don't have everything aligned. So I did want to bring up those couple things for our job seekers and see what Nigel has to say about all of that.
You know what I think? I think you just hit it over the head. I know a lot of people that are, "Oh, are you on LinkedIn?" Yesterday, I met somebody, great person, but she just got on LinkedIn.
Hmm.
Like, she literally just got on there, and it's like, guys, you really do need a LinkedIn. Think of it as an online resume of
It
sorts. While
is.
it might not have the full detail of what your professional resume will have, it does have it's a highlight overview. It's a high-level overview of your experience.
It
The
is.
other thing is go back to the other sites that you use to apply, the career builders, the Indeeds. Make sure the resumes are consistent. Update
Yes.
them all, whether it's Indeed, the Ladders, whomever you've used, whichever job boards you've used. Make sure all of those are consistent. It's the same version of the resume on every one of those. Because here is the thing, what Dana just said is that if you had a job that you had maybe for 3 months, 6 months, something happened and you left, right? And it's on Indeed, but it's not on LinkedIn.
It's going to look
I'm gonna
shady.
probably ask you about it. And here's the
Yep.
thing, it's probably gonna come up in the reference review for you in your background review. So
If
you
they,
need to make sure that there is consistency and continuity. And I'm not saying you can't omit a job. What I'm saying is you can't omit it over here and leave it over there and leave it
yep.
to where the employer is wondering, are you trying to hide it? Because
Yep.
their only conclusion is gonna be, are you trying to hide it? Are you trying to like not tell us about it? You didn't mention it, right? And Denise just said, right? Are you professionally visible? If you have, for whatever reason, hidden your LinkedIn profile, because sometimes we do that while
Yeah.
we're adjusting our profiles on LinkedIn, we'll hide ourselves. Make sure you go back and unhide yourself so you can be found, because nobody can find you for a job if you've hidden yourself, right?
Yeah.
And here's
Yeah.
the
Hmm.
thing, a
It's true.
well-written bio that's consistent. The ladders makes you, I know for a fact because I'm on there, makes you have to write a bio, right? You have to have a bio on LinkedIn. Make sure those are the same. Don't have one saying one thing. Don't think that, oh, I'm going to target this position over here, this type of position over there. It's the continuity is so important,
Yeah.
because what Dana just said is Nigel's going to come formulate an opinion of you as a candidate by looking across your profiles across multiple different places online. So just make sure there's consistency, there's continuity, you're using the same keywords, you're showing the same experience. And if you're on LinkedIn by chance and you've done great work, ask somebody to give you a recommendation. I'm going
Oh,
to check your
yes.
recommendations to make sure that other people feel about you the same way you're presenting yourself. Those
Oh,
are extremely
absolutely.
important.
Yeah, the
Especially if they're your
recommendations
boss.
are, yeah, they're your online references. I mean, they really
Yeah.
are. Most companies don't do extensive references anymore because there's
I'm
so
glad you
many
said that. Yep.
Mhm.
compliance or legalities around it.
Mhm.
And companies are limited as to what they can say. But what could
Absolutely.
make or break something is if there's 4 candidates in the mix, and of the 4, and they're all very or 2 candidates that are finalists and both look really good, and the
Mhm.
other one has a lot of great references, and you don't have any on yours. I mean, I'm not saying it will, but why
It could.
why mitigate the risk of not getting chosen, right?
Right.
There you go. I've got a
Everywhere I have been, guys, I try to add a reference, whether it's on LinkedIn or not, but I really do try to add a reference. I'm on a
Sure.
short engagement out in Arkansas. Most of you know where it is. I've asked for a reference, right, from the person that's hired me. Ask before you go, before you get out, ask for a reference. You do a huge project and it was really good for the organization and it impacted the bottom line, and you can actually post details that are not too much, that are not proprietary. Ask for a
Mhm.
reference from the project manager, from the person that you directly partnered with on this project. Ask for it on LinkedIn. Send them a
Yeah.
note and say, "Hey, I'm going to ask you for a reference on LinkedIn, blah, 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 blah." It doesn't mean they're going to be one of your 3 references on your background check, right? We're not saying that. We're just saying get an online reference for the caliber of work that you do, because it goes a long way for potential employers.
Yeah, it really does. It really does. And Nigel, you mentioned that kind of, LinkedIn is your online like resume. It is
Mhm.
literally your online blueprint professionally.
Mhm.
It
it
lists
is.
not only your resume, but it allows you to list all your core skills. It allows you
Mhm.
to list references. It allows you to show what groups you're a part of to show that you're proactive in your
Mhm.
career field. And let me tell you, as an individual that's used LinkedIn corporate
Mhm.
for 15 plus years, um, basically LinkedIn corporate allows
Mhm.
employers to run targeted searches and put in
Mhm.
keywords, hence the skills you choose to put on your profile, to
Mhm.
find the best qualified candidates. So
Mhm.
if your LinkedIn profile isn't maxed out and looking top notch, you could miss out on being included in a critical search that you would have been a good fit for, hence
Mhm.
missed out on a job opportunity. So I always, when I was in the job search, I made sure all my titles were accurate. I made sure I had bullet points under what I put in there, just like my resume, so that all
Absolutely.
keywords were in there. I also made sure to max out all 52 skills that you can pick. I made sure I was part of numerous groups. I made sure that my contact information was in there. I made sure my profile picture was professional. Those
Mhm.
things are all so important.
Right. I think
Contact
what
information I can't say enough on. Woo,
I
hoo,
think
hoo.
Jason Hopper just pointed out, LinkedIn is your online brand.
It
It
is.
is your online brand. Guys, let me tell you something. When you see a company that you want to work with, go to their page and I'm interested in working for you. You see a position, it says it has 10 skills. You've got 6 of the 10. Change the skills on your page to include the 10. It's okay if you're moving them around
Yeah,
because
you
you
can.
just applied to, yeah, you just applied to that job. So you want to look like you have all the skills to do that job. Don't trust that they'll just look over it. If you're making comments on articles or whatever, make sure those comments are in line with your professional image. The recruiter can see that.
Oh
They can see
yeah.
how much you contribute. They can see how active you are, and they can read an overtone of everything, that the advice you give, the comments you make, the type of stuff that you post. We really do draw a conclusion of the person that you are. And is that image consistent with the person that we saw in the interview for 60 minutes? And it's only fair, right?
That is
That
only
that
fair. Yeah.
it's only fair because we're only going to see you for 60 minutes a few times. You're going to talk to the hiring manager, you're going to talk to people that you're going to work with in your job, right? And so the rest of our opinion of who you are as an employee is going to come from your online presence. And that's the only place that we can get it. We don't come to your house. We're not going to come to your granddad's 92nd birthday party. We're not going to come over for your friend's night. We won't get to know you that granular. So the only thing that we have to look at is what we see online and then what you present.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right. Well, I want to piggyback off of where we're going with what we're talking about right now. A couple of years ago, and um, Nigel, you
Mhm.
might remember me in this story. I know my buddy Jeff Little is on here listening, and Denise definitely, and I have talked about it before. Hey, Denise Johnson. So there was a project manager that I needed to hire couple of years ago that had
Mhm.
had a couple of specific functions that I was looking for. Uh, this guy sent me his resume, and oh
Mhm.
my goodness, you know how it is. You know how many resumes are not what you're looking for when you post a job.
Right.
And I got excited because I got 50 resumes, and two of those resumes were a fit for what I was looking for.
Yikes.
Uh,
Ooh.
one of these was, and what did I do? I got excited. I saw that. Of course, I wanted to talk to the guy, but before I talked to him, I wanted to go see his LinkedIn presence.
Mhm.
What he was on LinkedIn? Well, he was a manager of a Chili's for the
Okay.
last was it 7.5 years,
Mhm.
and there's nothing wrong with that, but I know that I, as a recruiter, have to maintain a relationship with those hiring managers that I am supporting. It's
Mhm.
very important that I have a good relationship with them. I make a good relationship with those hiring managers, like a Jill, a Yuso. I see you
Yeah.
out there, Jill. By seeing them exactly what they're looking for. Now, I know that I am not going to be able uh, to send to my hiring manager a a person that he's going to deem as qualified in his head for a
Mhm.
project manager of this scope that has
Legit.
been a manager of a Chili's. Ain't nothing
Yeah.
wrong with being manager of Chili's, you guys. I'm not knocking
No, no.
Chili's,
Definitely
but
not. Yeah.
guys, we have to, as recruiters, we have to represent things the right way.
Absolutely.
Not that the guy couldn't do the job, but I know because I have a relationship, Dana, with that recruiter, with that hiring manager. I knew that I couldn't go to this hiring
Yeah.
manager and say, I
Yeah.
want you to
Right.
spend your time talking to somebody who has been a manager at Chili's when you are looking for this amount of this magnitude
Yep.
Mhm.
of a recruiter that has had experience in this space with a product that had only been out for 5 years.
Wow. That's
Wow.
I think one thing, guys, you need to understand Foster and Dana's job is to bring me exactly what I asked them for, right? They know how much leverage and room that I have. When Foster and I was working together, he knows it's pharma. He knows we're talking to the director or executive director of quality, the executive director of compliance, the executive director of supply chain. I cannot go in and sell a story about somebody who managed Chili's.
That's
we
true.
make we make drugs. There are strict compliance by the FDA and a lot of governing bodies and governance around this. The industries are too different. And while we might like the guy and he has some skills that could be useful, this job, this group of folks that Nigel's going to talk to, Foster knows he can't sell it to me and I can't sell it to them because we put both of our reputations in jeopardy.
Yeah.
When you
Right.
build a relationship with these people, you know you want to get into their heads. You want to know how they think. I'm friends with Nigel and Dana, and I know a little bit about how they think. I know quite a bit about anyone that I would be up for suggesting that they spend their time to talk to them about a certain issue. I
Mhm.
know because I have a relationship with them.
Yep.
And guys, questions, and we're getting a little bit outside of social media, a little bit, but guys, job seekers, find out what those relationships with those people that you're talking to about this job, find out what their relationship is with that hiring manager that they're working with to try to find this specific person. It
Mhm.
will do you a lot of good. And wow, we have dissected this thing down to this is good.
It
So,
is really good. It's a
you
lot
It
know,
for
is.
the job seekers and it's important for them to know
for
this.
them to understand what
It
they're up
is.
to. And guys, please do Google yourself and see what's out there. And like Dana said, if you see something suspect, do a little research. Find out what can you change it? You know, if do you want to change it? Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
But how do you go about doing that the correct way if you see something that needs to be changed? And you've got experts out there like a Charlie Zinger. You got
Mhm.
experts out there like a Dana Gingerich. People in the network, guys, that will help
The
you do
network.
those kind of things. And Nigel, I can't leave Nigel out. Nigel is she's a whole lot smarter than Foster is.
Well, I tell you what, as a result of this, because we talked about this or whatever, there are other things, guys, that I want you to know. So I'm going to post a recap of our conversation on
Thank
LinkedIn
you.
for you guys because I
Yeah.
think it's important for you to go through and
It
just
is.
check yourself. I think there was a song about that, right? Pastor, check yourself. Just check
Check
yourself.
yourself before you wreck
Check
yourself.
yourself. Check yourself before you wreck yourself, right? And just make sure that you're in a good space, right? Everywhere. Just make sure that you're in a good space. And Denise's point about adding value, if you're commenting on LinkedIn, make sure you're adding value. If you have a personal blog, make sure it speaks to your
Yes.
overall professional image. If you're an artist or you have something else that you're into on your Pinterest and everything, just make sure that all of that is super professional, guys. And while it might not have anything to do with the jobs you're targeting, people are going to use it to assess your overall fit.
Yes, they will.
For the company, fit for the culture, fit for the coworkers and in the team vibe, right? They're going to be grading you on all of these things. And it's important that you're aware.
All of them.
It's so important to know that. Yes.
Mm-hmm. And
guys, one more thing.
Go.
Those of you that are targeting global positions, organizations in a global space are usually more stringent. They are not the US. They are not as carefree as we are. They are usually very conservative, depending on the industry. So if it feels any kind of way suspect to you, I definitely say take a look at it and maybe consider hiding it. Or hiding yourself and adjusting your online presence, and then coming back in something that's really conservative to fit the organizations that you're targeting. Because again, the premise, especially in things like Middle East, Asia Pac, they're going to be way more conservative than we ever would be in the US. And that's important to know. Germany and some of those countries.
Important to know, yes.
Yeah. There's not a lot of leverage there.
No,
I got a question to ask you, because you worked in Galway and you hired people and you helped people get hired in Galway, and guys were talking about Ireland. Did you find that they discriminate against Americans with American university degrees and things here in the way that we do?
No, they like Americans. No, because in a lot of things, in a lot of ways, they feel like we are more progressive as a society. Yeah. And people will watch America to see what we're going to do, how we're going to respond to some of the things that we see, like in the LGBT community. And then they'll taper their response or their policy around what is America doing. Other things that we do, they'll be like, oh, no, that's too far. I don't want to go that far. Right. We'll wait and see kind of thing. But for the most part, they're watching us to see what we're doing, but they're not. And they like to have us come over. I think sometimes there's this perception, particularly internationally, we believe America is a wonderful space and everybody should want to be like us. The reality is there are things we can learn in the global landscape that will actually enrich us and make us better. So as long as you don't go in with that attitude that I have everything all figured out because I'm American, they will embrace you. And here's the thing, you will learn a lot about yourself. You will learn how and where to compromise. You will learn where to compromise, when it's important to let it go, and when it's important to hold your and stand your ground. But it will really enrich you as a person. I feel that way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's good to hear. I've never been overseas, even though I've been global in my in my recruiting and all the things that I do in my management. But I've always wanted to ask you that question, and I got a chance to ask you, what was your experience? Guys, we read a lot of things. The things that Foster shares with you guys, I have personally experienced. If I haven't, I'll tell you like I'm telling right now. But what I have experienced, I want to share with you guys. We read a lot of things. Nigel and I love the Bible. Read it. We read the Bible. We read it. But
amen. I do too. Don't leave me out of that.
Oh, you hear Dana? Y'all hear that? Listen,
and Dana,
not tolerating that.
We share those things that we have experienced. Foster's a car man. Foster, what do you like about Corvettes? Well, I can tell you because I drove one time, but if I haven't, I can give you what I think. And guys, let's share what we know is all I'm saying right now.
Let's continue to do that.
There's music. Guys, next week is when we'll see you. Hopefully not. Hopefully you'll have a job.
Yeah.
Hopefully everybody will have a job.
Everybody have a job.
Having me.
Thanks,
if you
everybody.
get a job, still watch us.
Yes, of course. Pay it back.
Live long and prosper.
If you are trying to quit drinking or doing too many drugs, listen to me.